All right. Good morning, guys. Let me share the screen. Great. So I'll use TradingView this morning uh, just because I don't have much to talk. And I want to use the futures to look at the market with the GDP news that we had this morning. So yeah. So first of all, yesterday I decided to close my short exposure. Uh, hey, good morning, my friend. Um, and yeah, I was just not seeing the traction and cushion that I would have needed in order to hold into economic data of this morning. And there's also that tariff news pending maybe today or reported for another 2 weeks. I don't know. Um, but I was starting to notice some constructive action, and that could still be just a flag into declining structure and then rejection to reconfirm the downtrend. But the problem is that I didn't have the cushion to see if it was another lower high that was being built inside the structure or starting to look constructive, and the market was really trying to kind of bottom and build more constructively to resume higher. All right, so it was all over the place in my position. You had Marvel as well with that higher low as well. Um, also had what was showing the same thing. Even D-Dog, which was very, very weak, was not able to break down from that short setup and made a higher low as well. So if the market is weak, then they will probably follow through lower. But I'm really fine with it. Being in a drawdown, you have to manage your equity, and that means sometimes to just let go of exposure because you don't have the cushion to take an event or a bigger risk. And the worst thing that you want to do, even if you think that you're on the right side, is to take that risk and the market goes the other way, and then you're putting yourself in a even bigger drawdown. All right, and that I really don't want to dig a deeper drawdown. So I prefer to be patient. I made some bucks on that short exposure cycle, and now I just want to wait patiently and see what the market will do. Yes, there's some names that are setting up pretty constructively, but there's also red flags in other areas. So the market remains super choppy, super big divergence. The read is really hard. So I'm really following the Nasdaq, the Qs, and what we're having is still a downtrend structure. So we're still below a declining weekly structure, and I think that the big level on the Qs and on Nasdaq is yesterday's weekly low, which is kind of the reversal pivot. And from an inside week, that would be kind of the continuation lower. So we need to watch that closely today. If we break below last week's low, I think that the market will reconfirm the downtrend and will not be in some kind of shakeout potential anymore. but more like a continuation lower and reconfirmation of a larger downtrend. All right. Like we discussed, we're still having those higher lows, so we can still build constructively, and today, next week, I don't know, reclaim that structure that would put me back into a long focus exposure. But you just cannot ignore the fact that we're building those lower highs as well. We're in a weekly downtrend. We're in a daily downtrend. We're building lower highs. We're rejecting the 21 DMA structure on a lower high again. We're just below yesterday's low to confirm a downside reversal. So you just can't ignore the risk of the market reconfirming the downside and going lower from here. I mean, you could, but uh, at which point will you stop to kind of anticipate the turn and chop yourself into a downtrend? Listen, those divergence and setups, you had them all in 2022, and I don't want to take 2022 because I say that we're going into a bear market. That's not what I mean. But there's other type of correction, of longer pullback, where you do have setups all along. There's always some bull market somewhere, they say, right? Um, and if you start to trade them all and you always get chopped, then you will get out of that pullback and correction and bear market. I don't have a clue what will happen, but you will get out with a huge drawdown, and it will be hard to get out of it. So capital preservation, and I'm not smarter than the market and the Qs, and I'm not the first to say that. I shared a quote from Kolumaji, KK, you know him, and he said himself as well. The minute you start thinking that you're smarter than the 10 and 20 on the Qs, you're doomed to mediocrity. All right. So that's all also being market first. So setups, there will always have setups, but do they follow through? Do they fail? That's always the big question. And again, I'm not saying that we go down from here. I don't have a clue what will happen. Maybe we will find good support, don't break down like yesterday, and we will see a lot of buyers coming in to defend that reversal pivot, to defend those lows here, and we're truly bottoming. Uh, uh, that's a possibility as well. But you have to respect the downtrend. That's just what I'm trying to say. And again, the truth remains. If you look at NYSE, which is summation of NYC is overbought, uh, but we're in one of the biggest stretch in history above the daily structure. So at which point the market, the tech, the mega caps can have a new sustained uptrend when the broader market is already stretched? That's the thing that I just don't understand and can't figure out. But again, I'm not here to figure out things. I'm not here to figure out the market. I will follow price first, market first, and unless that the Qs reclaims both their daily and weekly structure, you won't see me engage on the long side. All right. Yeah, exactly. Easy to lose focus, also to hiding. Yeah, their stuff working. That's the thing. So, uh, and that comes back to my point of NYSE. So, how long could these other places work? And tech being in a correction, no clue. But at some point, something will have to give up. So Irish is saying, once you are in a huge drawdown, psychological, you are hurt and hesitate to take the next trade. Yeah, that's very true. That's why you don't want to put yourself in a big drawdown. Keep that single digit. That's a golden rule for me. If I'm able to keep my drawdown single digit, then the next market opportunity, you will have no stress executing it and putting size on it. You will have confidence and don't back off because you're in a big drawdown. Uh, so yeah, try to keep that small the most that you can, guys. And sometimes it's waiting for a bit more confirmation. Yeah, but how many months of 5% drawdown can you take? 6 months, 5% each? Is it still okay? But yeah, that's a good rule. You can have a rule for the short term and kind of the ultimate drawdown. Um, so yeah, guys, I don't have much. I will personally not look to trade today unless we have a unreal bread trust and we confirm a reclaim of structure on QQQ and QQQE. And even then, that will be about testing the waters, but not much for me. Uh, we can look at the names that I was still tracking and continue to track. So if I have to test the market, that will be in those names. And those are all weekly charts. All right. So ONS, so tech reclaim of the 10-week moving average yesterday. You have Planet Labs, super strong. NBIS as well, right off the weekly structure reclaim. Hot, starting to look good. We have a nice pullback into rising 10-week moving average structure. CCG looking very good in that weekly structure. Interactive broker holding the rising 10-week moving average. Flex still in that base. ANET with that reclaim and backtest of the weekly structure. Boeing, maybe it will get out at the end of the week. It's pretty close. We might give away the 10-week moving average, but we're still in the structure, so I want to keep track of that. And yeah, Intel still holding the rising 10-week moving average. So that's the name that I'm tracking personally. And again, not looking to engage, just in observation of relative strength, being ready if the market confirms the setup. So maybe just final word. Uh, don't be in a hurry to trade. Don't be in a hurry to get back your drawdown. Uh, when the market will be good, you will know, and it will be so easy to get out of that drawdown, to have proper traction, to trust the market because we're trending above a rising 10-week moving average. We're rising above a daily structure as well. All right. And that will be normal to have those pullbacks along the way. All right. And those are big opportunities to load and get aggressive for the continuation. But personally, below a declining weekly and daily structure, I think that's a bit uh, trying to squeeze the last bit of the lemon and trying to find uh, what's the expression in the needle in the haystack. All right, you're trying to fight for pennies. Uh, so yeah, personally, waiting for good market. And until that happens, I'm not trying to anticipate anything, and trusting the price structure. All right. Any question, guys? I know that's not what you wanted to hear, but I really think that risk first mentality is really important here. Uh, and please be careful. All right, please be careful. There will be plenty of time to make a lot of money when the market is trending above structure. And I'm not bearish, by the way, guys. I'm not bullish, I'm not bearish. I'm just recognizing the facts and just being cautious. All right? Cautious is a good mental state to be when the market is not giving you green lights all along. Yeah, man. Easy dollar times. That's what we want. When did you last see this situation and how did you overcome? I'm not sure to understand the question, my friend. Can you just uh, precise what you mean? What do you mean by situations? Ah, choppy market, up, down, long ones, short, and so on. Yeah, at some point you just listen to the feedback, you stop fighting with the market. Uh, I tried I tried to position short once. Feedback was moo. I made money, and then it's back to being patient. All right. Last April, in what was the correction of the tariff tantrum, shorting was easy. All right. Shorting was very easy. Not what it is like right now. So maybe it's just that the market was not ready to follow through to the downside, and we will do now. Maybe the market is trying to bottom, and that's why we have chop. Uh, I don't have a clue, and it's not important why the market is choppy. So when you don't have the feedback, you just stop what you're doing. It's feedback that what you're doing is not working. All right, so I tried the anticipation setup last week on QQQE. It didn't work. All right, I refocused with the trend, which is down. Short exposure didn't work as well as I wanted and didn't get the cushion to kind of go through today's news. So I'm just waiting. There's no problems to wait, to be on the sidelines. I know it's super hard because we want to be involved. We want to feel that we're doing something constructive, but sometimes doing nothing is what's actually constructive. All right, you can get chopped either side. That's the beauty of the market and trying to play both sides. You can get chopped on the long side, then revert back to the short side and get chopped again. So when when nothing works, the best play is doing nothing actually. So that's what I'm planning to do here. Just recognizing that the market is not favorable to the long side. Also recognizing that chop is high and I don't get the traction to the short side. So before getting chopped again, I decided to close that exposure. I made some returns, helping with the drawdown a bit, and then just going back to waiting. All right, that's my game plan. So I hope it answered the questions. How do we know then market is good some days above we go long? Yeah, for me it's the daily and weekly structure. And that's something that I want to add more, uh, especially if the market going into a longer pullback or correction, is to give more weight to that weekly structure. All right, that along a longer along a deeper and longer pullback or correction, you will have a lot of those fake outs. All right, those oversold rallies, and usually they are faded when you are in a weekly downtrend. So the game is when you are in that uptrending market above a rising weekly structure, then you trade around the daily structure, the 21 DB structure. When you are in a daily decline, downtrend, weekly, sorry, downtrend, then either that you can short around the 21 DB structure for good risk reward area, or you can just wait that the market will resume its weekly structure and start that easy market, that uptrending market where you get traction to the long side, that things are working, etc., etc. So, how do you know if the market is good or bad? It's giving you guardrails. All right, it can be anything. I'm using the cues with the daily and weekly structure, but that can be anything. Develop your system, backtest it, know what makes a good market versus a bad market. It can be net new highs and lows. It can be the McClellan summation. It can be whatever. But define for you in your system what is the guardrail where you are in a long positioning focus to a short positioning focused or simply neutral. All right. And for me, that's the weekly structure that I wanted to give me that neutral, short, long uh, kind of positioning. All right, guys. So that was a good session. I hope you enjoyed. I think that, again, I want to emphasize that again. Uh, be careful, no matter the amount of setups that you see. If the market fails, the setups will fail. And that's why I'm always a market first trader. That's based on experience, because I know that in a bad market, in a downtrend, there will always be uh, setups. And the problem is not the setups, is how they follow through and just lack the follow through and stop you out to further chop you out in that drawdown. So please be careful, respect the price structure. There's no problem testing the waters, but please be careful. Manage your drawdown well. Manage your exposure, your new exposure risk. And for me today, that will probably be on the sidelines. Uh, and if we reconfirm the downside, that might be that the next few weeks will be on the sideline as well. I'm open to that possibility. And at the end of the day, price structure will tell me what to do next in the next few days and weeks. All right. So first, let's see how we react today. We still have that tariff news coming up, maybe today or last next month or never. I don't know. But it seems that the market is waiting for it. So um, yeah, we'll see. We'll take it day by day, but we have our guardrails. All right. So have a good one, guys. Cheers, and have a good weekend as well.